test. All right, looks like we're live. I'm going to send out a stream announcement here, and we'll get underway. Okay. So this is a stream that I think a lot of my like consistent Agricola or Terra Mystica viewers are not going to be intrigued by, and that's totally valid. Also, sorry, I'm just seeing that I should have a light on. All right. Anyhow, I'm going to be blabbing a bunch about WBC teams because I enjoyed doing it last year, and a few people seem to enjoy it, and so here we go. If somehow you're watching this video and you want to know what I'm talking about, the basic idea is the WBC is the World Board Game Championships. It's my favorite convention I go to every year. It lasts over the course of basically 8 to 9 days. They run tournaments in about 150 different games. I love going there and competing and playing a bunch of stuff. On top of all of that, they have some meta competitions, and one of those is the team tournament. In the team tournament, you and 3 of your friends can gather together and sign up a team. And I'm going to have to take a bone away from my dog because he's being very noisy. Yeah, sorry, bud. You can't be that noisy today. No, not right now. Okay. Anyhow, you could sign up as a group of 4 people. Each of you has to pick a different game that you're going to play, and you're basically trying to call your shot. You're like, I am going to do well in this tournament. You get points for doing well in that tournament, and the team that puts up the best points will win the team tournament. The scoring system for the team tournament is a little bit different. I'll cover it in a second, but basically, what I'm going to go through today is trying to estimate how likely it is each of these teams are going to win the team tournament. Because, again, I partly love WBC. It's put on by gamers, run by gamers, and we have all these silly side competitions. So, not only is there a team tournament side competition, on top of that, there's a bracket busting side competition where you predict which teams are going to be the best, and the best predictor will win free entry to next year's WBC. So that's multiple levels of silliness, and yet it's great. It's great fun. It's just small little extra stakes here and there to just convince about, talk about, and waste time as you get excited for the upcoming convention. I did successfully win the bracket busting competition several years ago. Got my free entry to WBC 2019, which was fun. Last year, it went okay, but it's always a tricky thing to predict how this is going to go down, which is part of the fun. Let's talk more specifics about how you score points in the team tournament. So at WBC, you get in a normal tournament WBC, you get basically laurels, fictional points in WBC parlance, for winning or for placing in the top 6 of events. For the team tournament, that's not always true. Depending on the size of the field, you get points. So for very large events, you get a lot of points for winning, a decent amount for second, still decent for third and 4th place and 5th and 6th place. But that's a really big event, 128 plus. If your event has 64 or more people, it's 9432, not too bad. If it's 32 plus, it's 8321. Like 2 and 1 points can matter. We're going to talk in a second, but last year to place in the top 10, you needed roughly 9 or 10 team points. So every point does matter, but what are the biggest games at WBC? Yeah, good question. The biggest field at WBC is usually something like Can't Stop or Facts and 5, which are going to pull like 300 plus. For more of the like Euro games, like Terraforming Mars, some years pulls like a little over 128, or around 128. Not a lot of games are pulling 128. A lot of the tournaments I would claim are for like the Euro games are in the like 30 through 80s type range. Like definitely good size fields, but yeah, usually not massive. So but like Terraforming Mars last year, 124 players. So you know, quite good, but didn't quite hit the 128 mark, which is part of what's so kind of silly and crazy about this, right? If four more people had played Terraforming Mars, Andrew would have won one more team point, and his team would have scored one more point. Uh, anyhow, the thing that starts to happen at the bottom here that really matters though is like if your event is under 16 players, you don't even get points for winning third or fourth or fifth or sixth. Like pretty much the only points to talk about are winning. Same kind of here at the bottom. So the team tournament really comes down to like getting wins. But some of the places can matter, but it matters more if you're in huge events. Um, so while I go through and rank players, we're also going to slightly talk about the size of the fields and stuff because uh, players are slightly more valuable if they're picking games in huge fields that they still can win in. But obviously that's the whole balance, right? If you're picking to win in a huge field, it should be a lot harder to win than if you're in a 10-person field. Well, your chance of winning is by default 1 in 10, right? Something like that. So looking back at the tournament results last year, these are the top teams last year, top 12. All these teams got at least 9 points. All of these teams have at least a winner on their team. So again, they have a player that called their shot and won the tournament. As the results here say, only 7% of the entrants actually did this last year, so 19 people successfully called their win. 12 of these teams have at least a player that did that. So basically, to place in the top teams, you basically need one person to correctly predict an event they're going to win. And that's hard. uh, so basically, that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to identify what are the teams most likely to have players that are correctly predicting wins in their events. Uh, again, some of these players are picking up some extra points in various things too. So, like my team last year, like 1-1 and two, like we picked up a couple extra points on top of Andrew's big score for winning, and that put us third. So like those extra points can matter, but the wins are really the key bit that you need to be able to predict and get in there. And that's most of what's like learned here. I mean, there's a handful of other things. One other thing that I didn't cover, the only other way to get a point, you do get a bonus point if you are winning an event that you have never won before at WBC. So that bonus point can be kind of nice. So like last year, Andrew scored 10 points. He got 9 points for winning a 124 person event, and he got a bonus point for winning in a game he had never won Terraforming Mars before. Um, am I calling Beyond the Sun again this year? Yes, I have chosen Beyond the Sun as my team game again this year. Um, I don't I feel decent about Beyond the Sun. I did recently win the BPA's online tournament for Beyond the Sun, so I did place fourth in Beyond the Sun last year. So, like I think it's my best shot out of all the games I'm gonna play. But I don't know that my shot is great, but it's a pretty good bet. Um, Beyond the Sun will likely pull at least 32 players again, which also puts it into a nice spot where, like, again, last year I got fourth place, and that still was 2 points because we broke this 32 person mark. So that also helps a bit. Okay, anyhow, so that was a lot already, which is expected. We're almost 10 minutes in. I'm expecting this video is going to be at least an hour and a half. Last year it was almost 3 hours. I'm trying to keep it less than that this year. There are less teams this year. There's only 50 teams, so it's going to be a little easier to predict who's going to be at the top. But as always, predicting this stuff is tough. Um, my methodology last year was to try to predict a person's like average expected point value in team tournament points. I think that methodology is still technically better than what I'm about to do, but I also think it was harder. I had to look up more data. It was slow. It was whatever. This year, I'm going to switch to a 5 point scale. I'm going to rate each player on a 5 point, like one through five. A 1 point player is basically somebody who has no history in an event. You've called your shot. By the fact that you're showing up to WBC and calling your shot, you're going to get a 1. Twos are going to basically be reserved for players that have shown that they could get laurels at an event, that they've placed top 6 at an event previously, but they haven't like won an event yet, etc. Threes are going to go to players who have made finals before, maybe have won in the past but not recently, stuff like that. Fours are going to go to players that have recently, like within the last 5 years or so, won their event. like they're a strong like probability to like win or do well in their event again. And fives are basically gonna be reserved for multi-time champions, people that have won their event like multiple times within the last 10 years. Um, that's loosely what we're gonna do. We're gonna quibble a little about it, but that should give us a decent idea about like what are the strongest teams. And then um, at the end, I'll pick my top 10 and what I'm recommending. The handicapper out here also has his top 10 that he recommends, which is pretty good. I think Stuart does a good job at this, and it's fun. He has this little commentary that you can read every year about what he's thinking and who he's picking. And the one bit of advice he has, and I do agree with this, is like you can't usually just pick the top couple teams because they're not all going to do well. So typically, winning the bracket, if your goal is to win the bracket busting contest, you want to like your best bet at doing that is to correctly predict which are the kind of mid teams are actually going to shoot into the top 10 this year, because those correct picks are going to be things that very few other people are going to get credit for in their bracket predictions, and that is kind of how you win. That is ultimately the year that I won the bracket busting contest. That's basically how I did it. I bet on my own team. Nobody knew me at that point. I went and won Terra Mystica, shot my team into the top 10. Nobody else picked my team, so that was a correct pick I got that nobody else could get, and that like helped. You still have to get the other teams right though too, so it's tricky. But anyhow, that's the true way to do it though. Just vibes, no math. Uh, yeah, I mean that is basically what we're doing this year. This year is going to be a lot more vibes. I'm just gonna it's gonna speed things up. I can mostly talk about players. I can look a lot faster, and that's gonna help. Hopefully, I can go through these teams a lot quicker. There's still 50 teams to go through, which is still 200 people. So like, I need to keep my talk about each person to like 15 seconds or less would be the goal, and it's still gonna be a decently long stream. So. Uh, with all that said, I have my spreadsheet with all the teams listed here. I have my ability to kind of poke around at all of WBC's history, which is part of the other reason I love this con. They have all of their history out here. You can dig up the results of what happened at the 18xx tournament over the last 20 years, and it's like boom, here's information, here's the laurels, the points from the players, etc. So we're gonna wind up using these these pages to help us identify, yeah, like who should we be betting on, etc. Okay. Let's actually start getting into it. So like, let's do the first team, and this is well, actually, I'm gonna technically start at the second team. Um, the reason I'm technically starting at the second team is I already pulled up 18xx. I know for a fact Bruce Beard is absurd at 18xx. He has won, whatever, 18 of the last 20 tournaments. He's a clear 5. If there ever was a 5, Bruce Beard is the best bet in the team tournament. Boom. All right, actually going through the rest of the list in order now. Rob Kircher at Santa Fe Rails. I believe that's what SFR is. It almost has to be. Rob Kircher actually beat me at Santa Fe Rails in 2023. He was the champion. I was second place. I know this for a fact. Rob Kircher's pretty good at games. He's won the tournament recently. I don't know that he's a multi-time champion recently, so like that's just a 4. Like that's a great bet though. Vasily at Merchant of Venus. I don't actually know much about Merchant of Venus, so this is one that we want to look up and see how many laurels does Vasily have at Merchant of Venus. It's not looking good. I don't see it. There it is. Okay, did win in 2015. That's good. And is fourth. Is fourth on the laurel list. They laureled last year. So this is like a 3 to me. Like a person that's won the event in the past, has laurels. That's gonna be a 3. Pretty good. Pretty good. John Kusis at Air Baron. I also don't really play Air Baron, but my memory is that this is Air Baron is one that John is pretty good at. Indeed, John has the most laurels at Air Baron, although notably last one in like 2016, so like often puts up laurels but doesn't win that consistently. That's a 3. And Bruce at Football Strategy. Bruce wins Football Strategy like half of the time. So that's also going to be a pretty clear-cut 5, right? Bruce. Okay, maybe it's like every 3 years, but Bruce has won Football Strategy pretty freaking often. Now, this is where a weakness of my new system versus last year is going to show up. I'm giving like Bruce Rife 5 points for football strategy because he consistently wins. He's a good bet to win it. But when we look at the player count for football strategy, even if Bruce wins, he's probably not getting that many points. Like his expected point contribution is like pretty good, but is it really fair to give him a 5 and I'm giving Bruce Beard a 5? Arguments, but again, we got to go through this fast and I need to keep it moving, otherwise I'm going to be here way too long. So, we're going to go with this, but when we finally think about the teams at the end, we might handicap things slightly on that. Harry at MMS is it's a baseball game. Why can't I come up with the exact name? March Madness. There it is. Anyhow, I'm pretty sure Harry has a lot of laurels in this event and has won it multiple times recently, so that's pretty good. I'm gonna go with a 4. Yes, he's won twice, somewhat recently, but um, I don't know. I don't know. Looks like a 4. Bruce Monin at I believe that's Washington's War. No, Washington's War is WWR. What is WAS? War at Sea. Duh, War at Sea. All right, Bruce is pretty good at War at Sea based on laurels. Bruce won in 2019, back in 2014. Looks like a 3. Like you have a couple wins, but you don't win super often. All right, and then Ken at Empire Builder. This is probably also a 3. Ken has won Empire Builder in the past, but I don't know that he has multiple wins recently. Yeah, he last won quite a while ago, but he puts up laurels in the event, although not since 2018. Ken's getting a 2. Sorry, Ken, you're getting a 2. No laurels in the last like 5 years. It's hard for me to put a 3, even if you're a past champ. All right, the Siegelman, Randy Buehler at Through the Ages. Randy Buehler's good at Through the Ages, although he hasn't won Through the Ages particularly recently, but he has made the finals a lot. So that's a 3. Shadow at Moon Colony Bloodbath, a new event that I'm GMing. I love that Shadow is calling his shot in Moon Colony Bloodbath. I do think Moon Colony Bloodbath has a decent amount of skill. Shadow's an insanely good gamer. But also it's a brand new event. Who really knows anything? I'm gonna give Shadow a 3 since there's like no history there, but who the heck knows? Steve LeWinter calling a shot at Third and Taxis. Third and Taxis field is huge, but Steve is a very good gamer and is very good at Third and Taxis. But I think calling your shot in Third and Taxis is tough. Yeah, Steve has not won Third in Texas before, so that's exciting. He does have pretty good laurels in Third in Texas, though, 2023. And he did win one of the online tournaments. I'll give Steve a 3, but yeah, And then Andrew Emmerich at Castles of Mad King Ludwig. Castle of Mad King Ludwig is also a pretty competitive field and tough. Andrews is a wildly good gamer and is coming off of a recent championship. I mean, you're a defending champ. You've won at least once recently. That's a 3. That's what 3s are for. All right, James Pay at For the People. I don't even need to pull this page up. Everybody that goes to WBC should basically know that James Pay is going to win For the People. Technically, he could lose it. Somebody else could win. It's just that's pretty much never what happens. So, Chris Bird at TWS. Ooh, we get to test myself. I don't know what TWS is. It's not coming to me. What would it be? Twilight Struggle. Duh. Twilight Struggle makes a lot of sense. Chris Bird, how are you at Twilight Struggle? You won once, but that was quite a while ago. But you do consistently win laurels. You did well at the online tournament. You just won the online tournament. All right, well, that sounds like a 3. One in the past, capable of winning, just doesn't win super consistently. Seven Wonders Duel, we have Dan Leader. I don't know Dan off the top of my head, so where are you at, Dan Leader? All right, Dan Leader does not appear to have a championship, but does have laurels back in 2023. That sounds like a 2 to me. No champion, but some indication of skill and possibility of winning. And then Tom Cannon at Dune Imperium. I'm pretty sure that's what DNI is. I also don't play Dune Imperium at WBC, and I don't really know the history here. So, Tom Cannon, where you at? Tom Cannon has no laurels in doing Imperium. Now, the event has only run like 3 years, as you can see, but that is how you get a 1. All right. Uh, Also, I haven't been saying the team names. I should be doing that, just because we should at least talk about the team names. We have Boys of BeachCon, solid. The Harry Bees, long time name. The Siegelman, long time their name. Nest of Spies, enjoyable. Horrid Birdman, I just enjoy the name. Like, again, if we were rated by names, this team's relatively up there. David Mayard is picking Jam Sumo, I believe, is JMS. I have no real faith in any. Oh, but he's the defending champion. He won the initial tournament, and it was a 4. Wow. So wait, this is a Jam Sumo is a Jam Sumo is a century event now. I don't know. Anyhow, whatever. I guess if you won the only tournament thus far and you're the defending champ, you get a 4. I can't. I don't know. Jonathan Jamilian B17. I don't actually know how you win B17. I know very little about how one actually does well. I don't see any indication of champion here. I'm going to assume there's laurels. B17. No, I don't. I don't see any indication of laurels. All right, that's how you get a 1. Boom. Carl heading at Galaxy Trekker. This one I know. Carl wins Galaxy Trekker pretty consistently. I don't actually know how consistently. I just know there's multiple Carl wins. Carl Henning, Carl Henning, Carl Henning. Yeah, multiple wins. Although, it's been competitive recently. Lifetime leader laurels. We'll give it a 4. Nick Henning at Scythe. Nick Henning is wildly good at games. Won console in 2023. Yeah. Uh, but he's picking Scythe. I don't play Scythe at WBC, but I believe it basically is Chris Wilds, Nick Henning, and Steve LeWinter fighting it out most years for the championship. Sorry if I'm forgetting somebody that actually wins. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So Chris Wilds wins a lot. Nick's never actually won this event. Fascinating. But he has the second most laurels. Okay, so Nick is very good at taking second in size. That's only so helpful when the event is only pulling 19 players. That's kind of an issue. So Nick's gonna get a 2? 3. You have a lot of laurels, a lot of second places. You definitely could win. You just haven't. All right, Team Terraformers. This is my team. Team Terraformer says we won in 2023, and we did well last year. We were one of the few teams last year where everybody put points up on our team. I also like our name. Terra Farmers is good fun. We have some games about farming and terraforming, so it's good. Anyhow, me at the Beyond the Sun. I took 4th last year. I won the online event last year. I'm selfishly rating myself a 4. I think Beyond the Sun hasn't happened at WBC that many years, so like yes, I haven't won the tournament yet, but also I won the online event, so whatever. Rob at Innovation, I'm probably giving Rob a 4. Rob has won Innovation multiple times in the last several years. He fairly consistently, gets laurels in Innovation. So, I mean, maybe Rob even deserves a 5. That's why I'm pulling this up. Rob has won. I mean, basically, Rob wins every other year. Rob might get a 5 in this system I've built up. Like 5s were reserved for multi-time champions in recent years. So I think that qualifies. Eric Freeman at Amun-Re. Eric Freeman at Amun-Re consistently gets laurels, but I don't think wins particularly often, and that is slightly killer. He won back in 2017, he won back in 2009, but yeah, so like gets laurels very often, one of the highest laurelists at Amun-Re, and got laurels last year, but doesn't win particularly often. So consistent laurelist, past champion, but not frequent. That's a 3. Andrew Martin in Terraforming Mars. Andrew Martin won Terraforming Mars last year. He's very good at Terraforming Mars, but he's not a multi-time recent champion, so it's only a 4. this again is where this system though shows weaknesses. Do I actually think Rob is the best value on our team? No, I think Andrew's the best value on our team. Winning Terraforming Mars, it's a big event. It gets you a lot of laurels. Uh, Innovation is a smaller, or it gets you a lot of team points. Innovation's a bit smaller of an event. I like, but anyhow, whatever. We have this system. We're gonna run it. It's gonna be good enough. It's gonna help us. It's gonna help us identify the teams that we most want to bet on. Uncivil Servants. Chris Trimmer at Hannibal, Rome versus Carthage. Again, that's a war game, so I don't really know. Chris Trimmer is the defending champ at this, but only one recent championship, but presumably a lot of laurels previous to that. This is a great. This is a great example, I think, actually, of why we want to bet on players that have a lot of laurels in an event but don't necessarily have the win. We still want to give them credit because one of these years they're going to break through. And oh wait, sorry, Chris Bird versus Chris Trimmer. Shit, I messed it up. Anyhow, Chris Trimmer still has a good amount of laurels. He's shown some history in this event and then breaks through and gets a win. So, but he is the defending champ. That's going to be a 3. Ty Hansen at Star Wars Rebellion. I'm pretty sure the answer is Ty Hansen has won Star Wars Rebellion a couple times and is very good. But I don't know for sure off the top of my head. Ty Hansen has only won once, but relatively recently, although Star Wars Rebellion is getting to be a somewhat smaller event. I'll give it a 3, but yeah, see, this is where size of event kind of matters. The only thing that really is going to matter is if Ty wins Star Wars Rebellion. Even if you get second, you really don't put up team points. Richard Irving, AOA, I believe that's Aces of Aces, which betting on yourself in Aces of Aces is a fun choice. Richard Irving, though, is the second all-time laurelist, multiple-time recent champion. Hey, multiple-time recent champions, we like. We give them 5s? That seems crazy, but that's what our system says. All right, Kevin at ACV, that's Advanced Civ. Kevin is good at Advanced Civilization, but other people are good at Advanced Civ, so how many times does Kevin win? Kevin has won multiple times relatively recently, and has the most lifetime laurels by a lot. That sounds like a 5. All right. All right, MIT, SGS. You are very advanced, thank you. Yes. Yes, advanced Civ is yeah, thanks. That is a fun pun. Andrew getting a 4? Yeah, he can yell at me, but my system is so at the top of the stream for those coming in a bit later. 5s are supposed to be for multi-time recent champions. 4s are basically for people that have a recent championship and have good history in the event. 3s are going to be for people that have potentially won the event in the past or are very consistent laurelists. 2s are basically for people that have laurels in an event, and 1s are basically reserved for people that have no history in an event. So, as I said at the time, though, do I think Andrew is actually like again? We're doing a slightly different system this year, so I don't have to try to estimate as much, and I should be a little bit faster. But I think it's a little less accurate. But whatever. We're having fun. All right. This is Titan 2 player, and this is Aaron Brown, right? Is that what I'm looking up? Andrew Brown. Andrew Brown at Titan 2 player. I don't do Titan 2 player. I don't remember Andrew Brown at Titan 2 player, though. I don't see Andrew Brown. Andrew Brown is pulling up nothing. So that's a 1. David Finberg in Titan, though, that I do know is a person who has done well. Yep, David Finberg has a win. David Finberg has multiple wins in the past. This is a 3. This is a player that's won a recent championship, has a good history in the event. Martin Sample, SRM. I don't know what SRM is. I genuinely don't know. Star Wars Outer Rim. Fascinating. That makes sense. We're looking at Martin Sample. Martin Sample has some laurels in this event, but no championship. That's a clear 2 by our rubric. And Terry James at Superstar Baseball. Now, this, I believe, is quite a good bet. Superstar Baseball and Terry James are correlated in my mind. do, and that's because James Terry has won the event. Okay, but not super consistently, so that's a 3. All right. Sweat Hog. Sweat Hog has Chad Martin picking STA. Wait, what? Chad Martin has won Navigador 3 years in a row, and he's picking Stone Age? I'm not in charge of what teams pick for their stuff, but I'd pick the event that I've won 3 years running. That's what I would do. Do I think Chad is pretty good at Stone Age? Sure. Like, he took second last year, right? So, like, obviously you have a shot, but you've never won Stone Age before. You do have laurels in Stone Age, but um, that's a 2. What was a 2? You haven't actually won the event before. Carl's a pretty good gamer. He's picked Splendor Duel, which is a brand new tournament, so there's no history here. I'll give him a 2 because he's a good gamer and presumably picking an event he's good at. But Lumen at Wingspan. Lumen's quite good at Wingspan. I don't remember if he's actually won at WBC yet, but I believe he's won the online tournament. And again, I do care about that also. Yeah, so Lumen won the online event and is a tie for the most laurels. I'll give him a 3. Like, he hasn't won at WBC, but he's won online. And then AJ is a multiple time Through the Ages champion, relatively recently. So that is again who we reserve 5s for. Let's just pull up Through the Ages real quick just to make sure I'm not crazy. Right? Has AJ gone off of a? Okay, I mean AJ's won multiple times in recent years, although Carl back to back, which is cool. AJ's also won the online event. Yeah. Anyhow, we'll go with AJ, but yeah. All right. Acts Whispers. We have Lisa at Star Wars Outer Rim. We learned that one already. Star Wars Outer Rim. Lisa, where you at? Lisa is 3rd in laurels and is a recent champion. Look at that. Boom, a 3. San Juan, Chris Geyser. Chris Geyser is good. San Juan has been dominated by Keith Dent in recent years. Chris Geyser has never won San Juan, but Chris Geyser has laurels in San Juan. That's a 2. Sean at Battle Line. I believe Sean wins Battle Line some years. So I'm going to guess a 3, but let's verify. Oh, he's the defending champion. He also won in 2018. Is this? I think this. And he's multiple-time past champion. Oh, this is close. This is close to a 5. Is this a 5? I mean, multiple-time recent champion. I think it's a 5 also. I think that's how our system works. Has he also final tabled Stone Age a bunch? Chad has, yeah. But I don't know. God, I guess I should give Chad a 3 for Stone Age. He's been in the finals multiple times, but I don't know. Anyhow, you really need to try winning an event just so they can put up your really old picture too. Yeah, let's do it, Robbie. Let's make it. And then Pete Stein at Kremlin. I recently learned Kremlin over the last year, and I kind of want to play Kremlin at WBC. It's good fun. With that said, it's good fun. It's not an event I would personally bet on. Pete Stein. This event has gone a long time. Pete is a past champ. Multiple time past champ, but not recently. So that, and yeah, nearly the leading lifetime loyalist. That's a 3. All right. Greenville Mafia, Young Forever, John Emery up front. I don't know crap about who wins up front, so we definitely need to pull that one up to have any semblance of an idea. John Emery's the defending champ, multiple time. He's won the event multiple times and recently. And is the lifetime leading loyalist. Boom, 5. Good work. Bruce Young, ATS, Atlantic Storm. Is that the event? Is that the tax sub? Is ATS a tax sub? What is it? Which one is it? ATS, is it a tax sub? Oh, great. I love somebody betting on a tax sub. I personally would not. Bruce Young has won the event, just not recently, but has good laurels. It's a 3. Eric Young at San Juan. All right. I love that people are calling their shot in an event that Keith Dent has won 3 years in a row. Somebody go unseat him. And yeah. Eric Young. Eric Young does not appear to have won this event, but Eric Young. Eric Young doesn't appear to have laurels in this event. That's how you get a 1. 5 if you ever saw one. Excellent. What is more dice rolling, Attack Sub or Stone Age? I mean, Stone Age probably involves more actual die rolls, just for the record. But I don't know. I've not played Attack Sub in a long time either, so I don't want to say too much about it. But all right, Sherry Maguire at Splendor. Splendor feels tough, right? SPD Splendor. Splendor, yeah, SPD. I don't recognize this name, but that doesn't mean crap. Alright, I don't see it. It is possible I'm missing some people because I'm just doing Control F. There could be spelling mistakes. There could be whatever, but I don't. Again, we gotta make this. We gotta make this stream go. Rob Murray won't be there, so it makes it a little easier. That part's true. Although, I mean, there's still a lot of people. There's still a lot of people that play Splendor. 200 some players a year on average. Like, whatever. I don't. I'm not betting on Splendor, but other people are allowed to. Ray Wolf at St. Petersburg. Ray Wolf is quite good at St. Pete. Ray Wolf, I believe, is the lifetime leading loyalist at St. Pete. I believe he's won multiple times. Somewhat recently. Okay, his wins are a little spaced out. He is lifetime leading loyalist. This could be a 4. You could argue a 5. Trish Wolf at CAS. Was that Carcassonne? Can't stop? No, that's not either of those. What is CAS? Cascadia! Duh, that makes total sense. Ah, shit, yes, Cascadia. Alright, Trish Wolf has no laurels on Cascadia, but it's a relatively new event. This is where I'm gonna fudge my system just slightly. If you're a very new event that has very little history for people to showcase themselves, and I know you're a relatively good gamer, you still get a little bit of you get a little bit of respect. So Trish Wolf's getting a 2 there. Jack Wolf San Juan. Wow, look at all these people that are like, it is time to unthrone Keith Dent, and we're gonna come for San Juan. I love it. I also personally was like, I should play San Juan this year because it actually lines up with my schedule. But now that everybody's calling their shot on San Juan, maybe I want out. Like, what is this? Everybody's suddenly like, San Juan, rich. We saw Keith win it 3 years in a row, and we're like, I could do that. I see no indication any Wolf has any laurels in San Juan, though. So sorry, Jack. You have no laurels. I trust not at all. Sam Wolf Wingspan. See, that's the type. Also, yeah. Wait a sec. Jack Wolf, have you not won Dune Imperium multiple times in recent years? What are you doing? What are you doing in San Juan World? Sorry, just a quick aside. Yeah, Jack Wolf, multiple time recent champ in Dune Imperium. Nope, screw Dune Imperium. We're betting on San Juan, the event we've never won. Or Laurelden. Sure we are. That's fine. That's not how I run my team. But what do I know about running a team? I've only, been first and third over the last 2 years. So, yes, that is Shade. Shade Wolves. I'm throwing shade your direction. All right, Sam Wolf took second in Wingspan last year. Won recently. That is the type of player we award 4s to. If you give multiple high placements in recent years, that's how you actually get points in my system. All right. All right, moving back to a slightly more professional tone, but I enjoy bantering with the Wolves, particularly Jack and Sam. So, anyhow, Dice hate me. We have Robert St. Pierre, quite a good gamer at Lords of Waterdeep. I also think he does well at Lords of Waterdeep. I don't play this event, and so I only have loose knowledge of who's actually doing what over here. Robert St. Pierre does have a bunch of laurels in this event, but hasn't actually won it. But this is that weird level of is this a 2 or a 3? Like, if you have this many laurels in an event, one of these years you probably break through. I'll be nice and give it 3, but Cliff Ackman at Ticket to Ride. Ticket to Ride's a big event, and it's relatively tough to do well, but Cliff has won it and does do well at it. So, yeah, Cliff Ackman has quite a few laurels. He did win it in 2017. That's relatively recently. We'll give Cliff a 3 for Ticket to Ride. I'm losing my hard edge. I'm not being tough enough on these players. Fair enough. Rick Miller at Railways of the World. All right, this is another. Rick, you've won St. Pete multiple times in recent years, but Railways of the World is our bet? All right. Maybe you're good at Railways of the World also. I'm willing to believe it. Rick Miller is good at Railways of the World and won the online event. Okay, Rick, that's how you get a 3 also. And then Steve Shambita at Acquire. Steve has won Acquire multiple times in recent years, as have I. As have I. Acquire is a tough event to win, though. But Steve is good at it. Yes, Steve Shambita. Steve Shambita. And has a lot of laurels. That's a 3 also. A lot of 3s on this team. Good team. Solid team. The Fantastic Four. We have Kerry Morris at Dune Imperium. Kerry's pretty good at games. Dune Imperium doesn't have a huge history, but how has Kerry done at it? Kerry has no actual history here. Again, I'm going to give it 2. I mean, I know Kerry's a strong player, and if he's betting on this, there's a decent shot he is actually, got some skill, but we don't have the indication directly. Am I acquiring this year? He plays Dune a lot. I know he plays Dune a lot. Again, this is where, it's a little tricky. My system technically says he should be a 1 because he has no laurels. However, the event is relatively new, so there's not a lot of history. So I partly have to work in, players. I'm trying not to work in too much personal knowledge. Kerry probably should be more like a 3, but whatever. He gets a 2. He's in between the 2. Anyhow, Zach Morris, CRK. I can't immediately clock what CRK is. Why can I not figure out what CRK is off the top of my head? CRK. Can't even see CRK. Crokinole, that's why. I did not think about Crokinole. Zach Morris is the defending champ and has the most lifetime laurels. Well, because he won last year. But hey, if you can win Crokinole, you get at least a 3. And if you win again, you're going to be like a 4 or 5. Bailey at Merchant of Venus. I, again, don't know Merchant of Venus. But... all right. Recent Laura list, but no championships. That's a 2 by our system. And Andrew Freeman. Andrew has won Arc Nova recently. Yeah, Andrew won Arc Nova, and then he also laureled last year. That sure sounds like a 4. Yeah, took 5th. Okay, that's a 4. You get a 4. All right. WBC, Merchant of Venus, pick up and deliver. Yes, that is how that game goes. All right, we have Gangrene. All right, Mark at BAR. I don't know what BAR is either. Battles of the American Revolution. Wait, I think that must be what it is, right? No, maybe. Yes, Battles of the American Revolution. Boom. All right. This is Mark Miklos. Has the most laurels by a lot. Has won relatively recently, but not multiples. That's a 3. LLN for Andy Lewis. Is LLN Leaping Lemons? Is this a typo? What is LLN? Is it a new game? It is? Oh, it's gotta be M. I agree. I think it's just a typo, right? It's gotta be LL. It's gotta be Leaping Lemons, right? I can't imagine there's actually an LLM also. Yeah, okay. It's gotta be Leaping Lemons. All right. How are you at Leaping Lemons, Andy? You did win in the past. You have a lot of. You have the most laurels. You get a 3. Back to my system. No. No. My tabs have been thrown off. The typo is throwing us off. All right, that's a 3. All right, Dave Stiffer, THA. I don't know what THA is. This is fun to test some of my knowledge. Thunder Alley, duh, that makes sense. That makes sense. Thunder Alley is quite a new game. Dave, do you have laurels? Dave, you don't have laurels. All right, it's a new game though, so I'm gonna give you a 2 still. There's not a lot of time, so who knows if you're good or not. And then Chris at B17. Again, B17 is a tough event to like call your shot in, from my knowledge. Uh, all right, I don't see any laurels for this person, so that's a 1. What is the 3-4? I am rating how likely players are to win their events, basically. That's the short of it. So we're trying to estimate the best teams, and we have a tab that's going to show us the best teams later. But currently, I need to assign every player a number, which we're 45 minutes into the stream, and I need to keep moving because the stream's going to be closer to 2 hours, and I was hoping an hour and a half. All right, DJ Borden, Castles, Mad King Ludwig. DJ is pretty good at games. I don't know that he's won Castles. Oh, no, he's won Castles multiple times relatively recently. Has a lot of laurels. So that's going to be a 4. Also, team name, Nitsiologists. Excellent team name. Although none of these games are made. There's multiple Nitsia games. None of these are those. So that I don't approve of. One of you, at least, should be playing a game by the good doctor. But anyhow, Tim O'Flynn, Navigador. Chad Martin, again, has won Navigador multiple times recently, but has Tim O'Flynn put up some laurels in this event? Probably. I'm going to go with probably. Yeah, Tim has some laurels on their back from 2018. That's at 2. Alex at Arc Nova. Alex is also has a good amount of past success in events, but is any of that past success in Arc Nova? No. So it's going to be a 2. And then Roy Pettis at Kremlin. I believe Roy is a Kremlin champ, if I'm not mistaken. I might be mistaken. There's a lot of people on this list, but maybe Roy's not on the list. Okay. Roy has laurels, but yeah, does not appear to have won the event, so that's a 2. All right, Princess and the Frogs. We have the Sasenti clan. First up, Antony and Agizia. I believe they've won Agizia. No, Dante's won Agizia. Sorry, got that mixed up. But has a good amount of laurels, so it's a 2. It feels wrong to be only a 2, but 2 it is. Whoops. Sorry, not Dalton. All right. Dante Sasenti at Terraforming Mars. I believe Dante has done pretty well at Terraforming Mars. So. All right. Dante's not 1, but Dante has a lot of laurels. So I'm willing to give Dante a 3. Holiday, Sasenti, and Ingenious. I do want to play Ingenious this year, but I don't actually know who tends to win Ingenious. But I would like to play some Heats of Ingenious. All right. There are some laurels here, so that's a 2. And Scott at 3rd in Taxis. Scott's pretty good at games. Also, I don't know that he's won 3rd in Taxis though, so this might also be a 2. Oh nope, Scott has won 3rd in Taxis somewhat recently. All right, that's a clear 3. It's a clear 3. All right, Dalton also taking his bet at 3rd in Taxis. That's too many of you are betting yourselves on 3rd in Taxis, but Dalton also has recently done well, but not a past champ. So you get a 2, but you can't all be right. All right, Eric Speaker at AZXL. I mean, I'm sure that's Azul, but I love the X in there. I'd love to. Is that extra large Azul? I don't. What is AS? What does it be? What's the X in there? But Azul. Eric Speaker, do you have laurels in this event? No, the event has happened 3 years. I don't know. You're only getting a 1. Maybe you deserve a 2, but whatever. Preston Sasenti and Castles of Mad King Ludwig. There's no champion there, but is there laurels? I see no laurels. That's how you get a 1. Sorry. Chris Wilds, though, at 5 tribes. Chris Wilds has won 5 tribes, I believe, multiple times. Chris is good at 5 tribes. This is a 4 or a 5. Chris has won 5 tribes multiple times. Has a lot of laurels. This is close. I don't know if it's a 4 or 5. I'm going to go 4, but wouldn't fault anybody for a 5. You better hope Sid doesn't randomly play Terraforming Mars. I mean, look, it doesn't matter. My team's going to go win Terraforming Mars. Andrew's going to pull Terraforming Mars back on as a win, and it's going to go great. All right, Bart at Empire Builder. Bart has won recently, has some good laurels. That's a 3. Chris Meyer at, is that Liar's Dice? Are we betting ourselves on Liar's Dice? I mean, I love the gumption, but I can't award much here. This is a 2 at best. You've not even got laurels this event. I'd like to give a 1. That would make me feel better. Jeff Meyer has laurels this event. Oh, Chris Meyer does have laurels recently in 2023. Okay, fine, you get a 2. Congrats. David Hood at History of the World, I believe. Or Here I Stand. No, Here I Stand. Here I Stand. All right. David Hood, you have no history at this event? Or am I just missing it? No laurels at this event. You get a 1. Sorry. The system. All right. Debbie at Alhambra. This, I believe, is a past champion. Is the returning champion. Returning double recent wins. Oof. A lot of lifetime laurels. You get a 4. Arguably even a 5, but I'm only giving a 4. Michael Swinston is the defending Agizia champion. I don't believe has multiple wins, but has laurels, multiple online tournament wins. That's a 4, almost a 5. Nathan, HRC, Hannibal Rome versus Carthage again. I'm trying to be a little faster here, obviously, because I'm realizing how long the stream is going to be. But having to look up all of these, I was trying to sort of not have to look them all up, and yet here I am looking them all up. Nathan Wagner has multiple laurels in this event, like a lot of laurels, but hasn't ever won. So I guess a 2, but this is the sort of player that easily could have that breakthrough. Jeff Wu at Beyond the Sun is the defending champ. He's done well in the online tournaments. However, this is a little bit awkward. Just recently, the notice went out that somebody would have to take over for GMing Beyond the Sun, and Jeff would have been the GM. So this presumably means Jeff is not playing or competing in Beyond the Sun if he's no longer running it, and I have to give a 0, which I feel bad about. And then here at Azul, this is the defending champ. However, if Jeff is not, yeah, whatever. I don't want to go too into it. Anyhow, defending champ, that's pretty good. We'll give a 3. Yeah, give a 3 there. All right. Jeff Burdett at John Company. I have no clue if you could even consistently be good at John Company, but who am I to tell people what they should bet on? Jeff Burdett. This is a relatively new event, but I don't see Jeff's name. I mean, we'll go with a 2 just because it's new and maybe, but... All right, the other Jeff, another Jeff at ACS. I don't immediately... We already saw an ACS earlier, right? What was it? It is Atlantic Storm, okay. I don't see... Oh, there it is. Okay. Recent lore lists, not a recent champ. That's a 2. All right. Jeremy Martin wore the ring. Did they win last year? Have they won recently? That name stands out to me. Yes, this is the defending champ. Look at that. Defending champ. That's a 3. Who else is on my team? My team is Andrew, me, Eric Freeman, and Rob Effinger. Jack, CCN. Combat Commander? No, that doesn't. There's no N. What is CCN? Command and Colors Napoleonics. Duh. Duh, duh, duh. Jack Morrell. Jack Morrell has a lot of wins, just not over the last several years. So that's a 4? Looks like a 4. Alright, John Myers, Small World. I don't know who wins Small World. I don't know. I don't play Small World. Who's good at Small World? John Myers is good at Small World. Recent champ, but not a lot else. That's a 3. Chris at Power Grid. All right, Chris has laurels, but back in 2015, that's a 2. All right, Eric, Lost Cities? LST, Lost Cities? Yeah. Eric Hufford won Lost Cities back to back many years ago, but has no laurels since, so that's weird. I'm going to give only a 2. I think it's really hard to call your shot in that game. And then we had another Azul competitor there. Jeffrey McHugh. I don't see it. This is on the edge again. There's only 3 years of history, but it's going to be a 1. It's going to be a 1 for me. All right. Strong. You can't believe you didn't let Andrew pick Small World. He was so excited about it last year. I let Andrew pick the game he wanted ultimately, although also, as I've made kind of clear on this stream, I'm pretty pro picking the games you've already won recently. Like, yeah, you don't get your bonus point, but, like, Jack Wolf is off chasing whatever in San Juan, was it? Instead of just going with Dune Imperium? Like, no, that's not how I run my team. I call it my team. That's a bit unfair. Although I think there's a mild argument that I am the one that has made the team happen most years. The year we won, I pulled Eric Roble in. He was our main rigger. Like, I feel mildly that it's my team, but I guess it should be our team. Whatever. I don't know. But anyhow, no, it's a good team. It works well. But anyhow. I could kick Andrew off if he wanted Small World instead of Terraforming Mars. That's what I'm saying. I could have. There's a slot for him when he's playing Mars. I'm not sure there's a slot for him if he's playing Small World. There is no Mayan team. That's fair. So he should have Agricola again. I mean, honestly, I would probably have accepted him picking Agricola again, even though I don't know. The Agricola field's also it's a crazy bet too, but I don't think the Mars field is huge though too. Like calling your shot on these games is tough. All right, Ralph up front. Ralph Gleason up front. All right. I don't see any recent championships, but I do see some laurels. It's a 2. PGF, Brian Collars. What is PGF? Pro Golf. Oh my god. Okay. Duh. But betting on Pro Golf, I don't know. You just can't convince me you deserve more than a 1. I don't even care. I'm not looking further. Pro Golf is not an event that you get to consistently call anything in. Scott in Britannia. I believe it's Britannia. Yeah, it is. Okay. Cliff won Britannia last year. Nice. I don't see Scott with any championships. Oh, wait, there they are. Sorry, I didn't look far enough back. They exist. They're there. And did Laurel recently. All right, past champion, Laurel recently. Those championships are a while back, but we still value them. All right, and then Jeff at Crash Team Racing. Jeff's. I believe CTR is Crash Team Racing. No, it's Charioteer. Oh my god. Duh. All right. Jeff Spanner. No Laurels at Charioteer, but it's so new of an event, you get at least a 2. All right, Chaos Magians, Chris at Concordia. Made the final tables multiple times in recent years. No championships. That's a 3. Patrick at Seven Wonders Duel. I don't know that Patrick's won Seven Wonders Duel or an online event. Maybe he has. Patrick's very good at games, but he recently won Great Western Trail, right? Like, why we... Patrick did win an online tournament and has a lot of lifetime laurels in Seven Wonders Duel. Fine. You get a 3, but Great Western Trail, buddy. It was right there. Fatty at Dune Imperium. I don't believe Fatty has any history in Dune Imperium, but Fatty's a strong player. There's 3 years of history, though, although I know Fatty wasn't here 1 year. Fatty gets a 2. I don't know. Maybe unfair. And then Luke in Root. Root doesn't have a huge history, but Luke did win it. So probably a 4. Probably a 4. Yeah, Luke won it and he put up laurels last year. That's a 4. I don't know. Seems reasonable enough. All right, the Cult Menagerie. Mike Coltman, Vegas Showdown, multiple-time champion. Won again last year, so that's probably a 4. I mean, Vegas Showdown's a tough event to call your shot in, but Mike did it last year. And Mike did win in the past. Mike has a good amount of lifetime laurels. Yeah, I think it's a 4 in our system. Claire Coltman at Ticket to Ride. I don't believe Claire has won Ticket to Ride before, but I think Claire has laurels in Ticket to Ride. Or maybe not. Nope, no laurels. All right, sorry. That's how you get a 1. Aaron at Monsters Menace America. Did Aaron win Monsters Menace America last year? Or maybe that was Can't Stop. All right, maybe that was Can't Stop. All right, Aaron did get laurels last year in Monsters Menace America, so it's a 2. And then another Azul bet. Do they have any laurels in Azul? I don't know. I get to open up the Azul page again. Last year I did try to start searching for games, so I didn't keep looking back. That also maybe was smarter, because now I keep like opening the same game page multiple times, but it's kind of nice to talk about people's teams in order, so maiden names might throw me off. Oh, I'm well aware. System seems to be breaking down. Mildly it is, yeah. I'm well aware that, yeah, some people have name changes, and it definitely does throw me off. Your wife's TTR win was with her maiden name. Yeah, no, for sure. For sure, name changes are going to impact things. I only, like, for example, like Chris here too, like, I know for a fact they've done one Concordia, but like if we go to the Concordia page, I mean maybe they've got the name change in there, but um maybe they don't. So, you never know. Oh no, they do the name change in there. All right. Well, anyhow. But yeah, basically, yeah. All right. I literally just finished half the teams, and I'm an hour into the stream. I should try to be faster. I don't know how I'm gonna be much faster, so I gotta think this through here quick. I'd like to stop looking up everybody in every game page, but I can't really not do that. Um, if I'm being fair to the rest of these teams. Now, the thing is, though, the Happy Handicapper is relatively good here, too, of, like, he also kind of has done all this work. I'm somewhat repeating things. And so, like, these teams way down here probably are going to be a lot of 1s. I guess I just keep going through with it, right? I have time. Like, let's just try to power through. I should just be faster. About yeah, like if I pull things up, like I pull it up and I go. I don't know if that's better, but all right. Napoleonic Wars, Peter Morzinski. Maybe I just look for champions. Maybe I stop worrying about laurels. Ugh, but that's not fair. All right, Peter Morzinski has laurels. That's 2. Jay Matthews at brass. Jay has a recent brass championship, I'm pretty sure. Uh, pretty sure. Jay Matthews does have a recent brass championship, but only one. That's a 3. Mark at Kremlin. I don't think Mark has a Kremlin win, but also I don't know the Kremlin history that well. Mark has recent laurels. I don't see a recent championship. Let's do. And Justin at GCA. What is GCA? Something. I don't know. Great campaigns in the American Civil War. Ah, yes, yes, yes. Justin Rice. Justin Rice has a recent championship. Boom, that's a 3. Nice. Derek Glenn at San Juan. Derek has laurels at San Juan, does not have a win. Uh, Everybody betting on San Juan is crazy to me. Well, not crazy, but it's just interesting. Like, a lot of people are gunning for San Juan laurels this year, uh, which is cool and all. Is Keith Dent not making it? Do I not know something? Uh, Maybe Keith Dent just left a vacuum in San Juan and everybody's ready to go. Maybe that's what's happening. Micah McCormick at Agricola. Micah has won an Agricola championship, has laurels in Agricola. That's a 3. Joseph Carrick at Cascadia. Joseph's decent at some games. I believe I played him in Agricola last year. It's good times. Not a lot of history in Cascadia, so it gets at least a 2. And Dan Adams at Arc Nova. Does Dan have Arc Nova laurels? Also a pretty recent game, so that's going to be a 2. It's a decent team there, but don't know if it's good enough to bet on or not. But you're pretty sure Keith is coming, but Derek makes the semis most years. Yeah, look, I understand. Anybody can take down Keith. Blah, 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 blah. I get it. I'm just, I am somewhat joking. Like, I'm somewhat serious. Like, there are quite a few people betting on San Juan, though, and so it'll be interesting to see how that all breaks down. I'll admit I also intended to play San Juan this year, and I haven't recently. So it'll be interesting how that breaks down though. Like, there's a lot of people that like are trying to bet on themselves on San Juan, and some of them are going to be sad. So, uh, we have somebody betting on raw dice game. I would normally chide this as silliness, and yet Matt Tyson did bet. Matt Tyson correctly predicted themselves as last year's champion and got a crap ton of team points for it. So maybe there is something to it. All right. All right. I see no laurels though. That's a 1. Bradley has made the acquire table multiple times, but does not have a championship. But I've been in the finals with them recently. That almost could be a 3, but I'll give it a 2. Lost Cities. Does have laurels. Boom. It's an automatic 2. And then King of Tokyo. Wow, this is a fun. This is a team that is really betting on the betting on some luck. But hey, there are worse outcomes than just saying like this is my year. It's gonna be my year. King of Tokyo wasn't held last year. It's King of Tokyo. I'm giving you a 1, and I'm moving on. But it's a fun team for upside. Sad one. Are you coming again this year? Yeah, Sean's here. It's great. Your schedule's insane. Excellent. I'm getting rinsed in Agricola this year again, so you gotta make up for my flexing on people in arcs. Nice. Let's do it. Sounds great. I love that your schedule's insane. Welcome, welcome. Quick schedule side break. If you've made it this far in the video, everybody else, congrats. Schedule side break. Yeah, my schedule is also like I have all these contingencies plotted out of what I'm doing each hour. I like again, I'm supposed to be like playing San Juan, right? But like, What if San Juan doesn't go well? Then I'm gonna wind up in Beyond the Sun. Like if I lose early games, boom, we go over in Beyond the Sun. Like there's lots of fun stuff. Scheduling is like part of the fun and chaos and nonsense of WBC, but it's good times. All right, sorry. Back to the right tab. I got to keep moving. Incredible. It's good times. It's fun. All right. Ted at CBC. I don't. Combat Commander? Must be Combat Commander. Yeah. Okay. Ted has no championship, but probably has laurels. Yeah, has laurels. There it is. Boom. We're kind of getting to that part where I kind of by default assume most of the teams in this range are made up of players that probably don't have recent championships, but probably have laurels. That's just again the Happy Handicapper does a pretty good job. So I am kind of replicating a lot of. Dave Cross has one and has the most lifetime laurels in this event. Interesting. That's actually three. Um, FIL? What? What the heck is that? Oh, that's Fire in the Lake. That's a brand new game, right? Or no, it's not brand new. Fire in the Lake has got run before, but only 10 players last year. Oof, that's a small event. That's not worth a lot, even if you win it. I'm only giving it one. And then TNW. Bionic Wars. Kip has no recent wins. Does have recent laurels. That's a two. The game inside the games. Yeah, the game inside the game is like part of the fun of WBC. Also, again, part of the fun of WBC to me is the game, like the game around all the games, right? I'm like multiple levels meta here of like there's a team tournament, which is a silly like side competition amongst the actual tournaments, and then there's a predict what's gonna happen in the silly side tournament. Like, oh, it's great. Uh, all right, I'm realizing that I'm getting sick of doing this, and I've sort of dedicated myself to doing this though. How do I do like? Ugh, are laurels an event based on players? Yeah, sort of. So there's two things going on here, which is part of the difficulty. So laurels in an event are based on a complex formula that's not entirely public, but broadly you get laurels in an event if there's more total player hours. Laurels are correlated with total amount of playing time in the event. Uh, Team tournament points are different. The team tournament, you get points mostly based on winning, and it's determined by how many players are in the event. So winning a large event gets you more points. Getting like third or fourth place in a large event gets you a decent number of points. Winning a small event gets you some points, and getting like fifth place in a small event gets you nothing. Is kind of how it works. But yeah, so it's kind of confusing because yeah, team tournament has its own separate point schedule that is different from laurels, which is further further delightful nonsense of our tournament of how many different things are going on at WBC. All right, William Kennington has not won this event. Doesn't even have laurels. I don't know. My quick search there didn't show anything. I'm gonna finish this team off because this is 30, and then I'm honestly just going to kind of scroll through the other teams. But we are getting to the point where like we are mostly rating teams that I'm gonna say are not gonna wind up at the top of our rankings the way I'm doing rankings anyhow. So I think I can kind of just stop because I'm not gonna like uncover things anymore that we're not gonna get covered otherwise. Cherry Tier's a new event, so you get at least a two. But WSM is Wooden Ships and Iron Men. Is that correct? Yeah, boom. All right, fun. I at least knew that. Michael Paulson. All right, has recent laurels in the event. It's definitely 2 and Jason Schultz football strategy. Okay, so let's finish this one off, and then yeah, let's just kind of spot check the rest of the teams. But I'd be pretty surprised if any of the teams are going to get more than like. I'd be surprised if any of the teams get more than like 8 points in my rating system, and at that point, like they're just not going to show up in the top overall teams anyhow. So I don't know that I need to like exactly worry about the rest of these teams. Um, is that the most fair? Not really, but I'm realizing that I'm not really having fun, like basically finding out that a bunch of these players are going to be rated a 2. So I'll figure this out in a sec. Uh, comes at what if somebody comes out of nowhere to win? Absolutely. I mean, to be clear, somebody is like somewhat likely to come out of nowhere to win. The problem is I'm just not going to predict it anyhow, right? Like my system here is basically to like figure out what are the teams I believe the most in. And it's just not going to be these teams anymore. Like the handicapper is relatively good at like correctly identifying like, oh, these people have won recent championships. They've done this. The handicapper system kind of works in these extra factors of like what is your overall history at WBC? What is this and that? And so like on that front, like to be fair, like just a quick spot check. Like I see Chad Weaver name all of a sudden, right? Chad Weaver has done well at events before. Like Chad Weaver has won events at WBC. Now, I'm guessing he has no history at Arc Nova, but Arc Nova is like a brand new event. So, where do we rate Chad Weaver? Well, I don't know that Chad Weaver should be this low down, right? Rank 44th team? Like, this is a good bet, in my opinion, of like, maybe there's something here. So, that's what I think my quick spot check is going to identify a couple of those. Um, but yeah, basically, like, let's go to my other tab here quick. So, whoops. I didn't delete a lot of these. Yeah, sorry. I've figured out what's on my sheet and what's not. But okay, this was all last year's data. I just didn't delete. Oh wait, it's coming from a filter. Oh, it's coming from a filter. Whoops. It's coming from team estimated. Never mind. I built my sheet smarter than I thought. All right, sorry. I had to go. I was confused, but no, this is correctly listing the handicappers' rankings alongside my own. I love. Don't you love it when all of a sudden you realize, like, oh, you built a sheet last year that actually was ready to handle most of this. So that's cool. All right, I just didn't delete the extra. There was some extra ranks that weren't necessary anymore. But okay, sweet. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I still have a bunch of zeros. I should clean those up. But again, like, what are the chances that most of these teams here are going to be rated in our top? And the answer is like they're very unlikely to. Like, we already have almost 20 teams that have 10 plus points predicted for them. And like, so we're just not going to run into that. But the fun little thing that we see here is like, I mean, the handicapper we agree with pretty strongly. Like the handicapper is first, second, third, fifth, sixth, seventh, ninth, 10th teams we all like quite a bit. The eighth place team I have here, the fourth place team I have there, like they're all kind of right up in here. Good job past me. Yeah, exactly. Good job past me. Um, so yeah, I mean, ultimately, the end result of my system is I mostly agree with the handicapper. I have slight quibbles, right? Like, I appear to not quite like MIT SGS as much as he does. Like, I like Gang Green a bit less. Some of the bigger other differences is I like Chaos Giants more than he does. I like Greenville Mafia Take on Me quite a bit more than he does, or a decent bit more. Not like again, it's not huge. I mean, again, we have our biggest differences, right? Like, biggest differences are like MIT SGS and Chaos Giants, but honestly, the differences are relatively small. So
Maybe we just have to say like Stewart actually mildly is good at what he's doing, and also my last year system probably was more accurate than what I did this year because this year it looks like I replicated. I think this year I replicated more of what Stewart already does, and I think Stewart does a decent job. But I think the big issue in what I'm doing right now and what Stewart typically does is that I don't think it properly reflects the value of how you get team points. Again, somebody that like kind of consistently wins a small event is actually not that valuable compared to somebody who like kind of consistently wins a big event. Uh, Also, like if you're gonna get a fourth place, if it's a bigger event, you get some pity points, and if it's a small event, you don't get points. And like I think that can matter too, and I don't know that that's like as reflected in the handicapper stuff. So I think that is where there's some value. Also, like I think I could have cleaned some stuff up, but this is what we did. We wound up blabbing through a bunch of teams. We had some fun. Let's do the quick scroll through the teams I didn't rank, and then let's pick the teams that I actually want to go with. All right, so the teams that I haven't like directly talked about quick. The procrastinators. I don't. I have played a game with Ryan previously. This is Raw. I mean, they're picking a bunch of games that I think are kind of hard to consistently do well in, right? I don't know that there's really anybody at WBC that has consistently done well at Dominion or like Cascadia or Raw or Medici. Like there sort of is, but these are hard events that are competitive, long time events. I don't see a lot of reason to believe in this team. So like, this is not really fair. I'm just gonna throw ones in here though, because like this, basically to me, this is not a team I'm gonna bet on. This is not a top. This is not a team I'm betting on being in the top 10. This it. What is tricky is like this is kind of a decent team to take a shot on though in your predictions bracket if you wanted to. This is the sort of team that like they're also picking games though like they probably are somewhat good at, and anybody in the right year could like go win Raw or Medici, right? Like they're games that like there's meaningful skill, but like also like it could be your year that like things break right. Um, there are certain events where like like if I just randomly went and played for the people, I'm not like there's no actual world where I'm gonna like kind of fall along and play well enough and get a win against James Payne. It's just not that's not an outcome. But like there's people that are a bit better than me at Medici, but there's a shot that I like show up and things break well and boom. So anyhow, um, this team here, Greenville Mafia Glory Days, Bill Burtless at Ace of Aces, I believe, actually has some. I think Bill Burtless has won Ace of Aces quite a bit. So let's check that out real quick. That name stands out to me, right? Bill Burtless. Oh no, Bill Burtless does not have wins. Okay, huh? I thought Bill Burtless. I clearly am getting him mixed up with Bill Birch, unless that is like a name change. See, Bill Burtless has recent laurels in this event. Okay, I'm just getting mixed up with Bill Birch, presumably. All right. Well, so I mean, Bill still has recent laurels at Ace of Aces, so that's somewhat of a bet. But I probably that's probably why that the name Bill in Ace of Aces I think stood out of my head. And Choir, yeah, this is another team that I don't really like. I don't really know, so like I'm not gonna bet on them. But don't disparage Randy in For the People. I don't think Randy's playing for the people anymore. And to be clear, I'm not disparaging Randy. My point of bringing up For the People is like there are certain games at WBC that take a lot of study and effort and practice to get to a point where you actually can compete for the title. There are games at WBC where I think you can be just kind of a generically good gamer that has a couple games of experience in a game and you have a shot. I think things like Dominion are like that. Like, there's meaningful skill. The better players are going to be better, but there's, enough luck in terms of what card orders come up and how things go that, like, I think you could be a pretty good Dominion player and get a couple lucky games in a row, and you're the Dominion champ, right? Like that's an outcome that's possible. Whereas I don't really think that's a possible outcome in a game like For the People. It would similar to the Terra Mystica tournament in the past, right? You don't show up to Terra Mystica and just kind of like accidentally win a couple games in a row. That wasn't like a really like probable outcome. It's also why I find like betting on things like Lost Cities is a tough thing. Like you might win Lost Cities, but pretty much anybody might win Lost Cities in a given year. So that's what I was getting at. Totally. Yeah, yeah. Agricola too. Yeah, exactly. Like it's gonna be very hard for you to show up to the Agricola tournament and like just kind of luck into a good scenario and good drafts for 3 rounds in a row and win the tournament. Like that's an unlikely outcome. But there's a love letter tournament, right? Like you can go like there's Can't Stop, there's Raw Dice Game. Like yeah, there's some tournaments that like it's more likely that you can kind of just go. So anyhow, a team that is playing games like Dominion can't like this sort of team. Yeah, they could win their game these tournaments. Um, I don't think there's going to be a lot of teams that are betting on a bunch of For the People and 18xx from nowhere, but some people are. Some people are going to pick those games, and that's going to be harder to win. Like, well, actually, wait a sec. All right, let's hold up a sec. Team Israel. I've never met him in Iran, but I've seen their names all through event reports from many years ago. Um, well, hold up one second, right? These guys are good at games, are they not? This is a team that maybe is worth a bet, right? Like I don't know that they should be this far down. This is slightly fun. Okay, Iran has no laurels, but Iran has a bunch of laurels in this event, just hasn't won it. Did win an online tournament back in the day, and like again, presumably also, if I'm not mistaken, like I don't think Iran has been at the tournament for many years in a row. So like a bunch of years they couldn't have got laurels, right? They've just been getting laurels in online events. So the tough part here, though, is AGR is Agricola. So Haim is intending to show up and win Agricola. That's the one that I. Whew, the Agricola field is dangerous. It's very good. I do. I probably missed it, right? Yeah. Okay. So Haim has a bunch of laurels as a vet. Like they were pretty good, but those laurels came in 2015, and I think the field has gotten stupidly good. So I don't feel great about that. So like I don't necessarily want to bet there, but like this is a team here. Like I don't know fully these players, but like I'm gonna throw twos on most of their day. Like this is a team that I think people maybe should consider. Just like I just immediately recognize these names from BPA online tournaments and events. Like they're skilled and they have shots. So even if Nick Kenny just wandered into the Agricola, making the finals would be crazy hard. Correct. Exactly. Like it's pretty unlikely. And for the record, I think Nick would agree with that, right? So yeah, there's definitely different yeah like fields and skills and different yeah kind of depths of games at WBC. So all right, a bunch of the Boomerang Gang looks like the Schlosser family. Probably not saying that quite right, but I don't super recognize their name. I mildly recognize their names, but I don't think there's like tons of tournaments here or tournament success here. So it's probably not a team I'm gonna bet on. Ooh, this is a fun team. Clater's crew. Okay, see, these are names that I kind of recognize though. Like Paul Clater's decent at 5 tribes, probably has some laurels. Like he's always a fun time. Kirk, I think I've played in Agricola once or twice. He's a decently good player. This is another team that like I don't know for sure. But this is a team that like mildly perks my interest. So like, I'm basically at this point just like I'm basically rating. I think what I'm doing is I'm basically putting twos into teams where I'm kind of intrigued by them, and I'm just putting ones across the board in teams that I'm not as sure. The House of Shea. The Shays are decent at many games, but also I don't. These are a bunch of there's several different names here that I don't really recognize at all. The acquire field is tough to win, so like this is not a team I would personally bet on. But I mean, you never know. Robo Truckers looks like the Moffats and Evan Boone. Evan Boone at Russian Railroads. Is that what the RRY is? Russian Railroads. What is RRY? No, Robo Rally. Duh. Okay, so Keith Boone used to live near me and loved Robo Rally and had won it Keith Boone had won Robo Rally multiple times. Presumably Evan Boone also good at Robo Rally. Who knows? So mildly intrigued by that one. And then the Moffats also though, but Power Grid's a tough event to do well in. So I'm also not interested in betting on this team, but um, there's some names there. Another Greenville Mafia team, another third in Texas bet. I'm just like, ugh, guys, there's too many third in Texas and Brass. Brass is also a tough field. Cities and Knights, I don't know a lot about. Kevin Emery's name stands out to me. I do want to check the Napoleonic Wars and Kevin Emery quick. John Emery has won multiple times, but not Kevin. Okay, so that's why Emery though stands out. I mean, who knows? But this also does not immediately strike me as a team that's that likely. Here's Tim. We have like another looks like kind of family team, which is fun. I'm glad we have these. Not a team though that like these are not a bunch of names of past champions. We got Drunken Idiots. Fun team name. But yeah, I mean, mildly recognize some of these names, but also, yeah, I don't think there's a lot of like championships history that I'm missing there. Spaghetti Flash and the Soggy Zabber Gang. Now, what a name! Like, what a name. First off, second off, this is why we're at least doing a spot check here. Cliff has won events and goes to the Vegas event and does very well for himself. He's betting on Splendor, which I don't love because Splendor is a tough field at WBC. With that said, when you look through the people that win Splendor, it is pretty much just a list of like, oh, who's a very strong gamer at WBC? All of these players. Like this is just like a bunch of names of like, oh, these are people who are very good at games. Cliff is very good at games. Jonathan Naylor does very well at the Vegas event. Now, Terraforming Mars is a tough freaking field also, but I don't really know these other players. I'm going to guess these are individuals that they've found from the Vegas event also, but if Cliff and Jonathan have them on their team, again, I'm intrigued by this team. I don't know that I'm going to bet on them, but this is the sort of team that I think these are players that are definitely strong enough and definitely have tournament success in other games and other events that are worth making my ears perk up. And Brass, look, that's the thing. I agree that they're picking tough games, but why did I start this stream so early? Sorry, there are buds. Pretty sure that Brass guy's legit. That's basically what I was saying. Is like, if Cliff and Jonathan have recruited these players onto their team, I have high suspicions. I have very strong suspicions. So this is the one place you want to yap. Hey, we can keep yapping for quite a while. This is classic me. We're gonna yap for too long. Basically to catch you up on where we're at, I went into a 5-point scale this year, and I got sick of about halfway through. I got sick of rating everybody, so now these bottom teams, I'm basically just indicating am I intrigued by their team or not. To be fair, the Happy Handicapper does such a good job in general, like overall. Like most of these teams at the bottom, we are like correctly kind of like I'm not gonna bet on them, but a couple of them stand out, like this one. This is the other type of team that the handicapper is not great at identifying, as these are relatively new players to WBC that don't necessarily have a lot of history, but I know they're very good and they have results already in some games and they have results in other gaming tournaments. And so this is a team I probably will bet on. Like even though they're picking a lot of tough fields, they're very good players is my bet. Again, I don't know Mitchell and Brian at all, but I'm just betting that Cliff and Jonathan have recruited some other strong players, and that's my guess. San Diego, Team San Diego. We have Mike Munson. I have played Mike Munson at a Grickle, I'm pretty sure. Jack Munson. Like I recognize a couple of these names. Reed. I believe Lumen told me last year that Reed has success in Agricola tournaments at like Strategicon. I think the name sticks out. With that said, the Agricola Field is not one that I want to bet on at WBC, even if you are pretty good. Like, that's tough. Castles of Burgundy, Power Grid, and Wingspan. I mean, this is another team here that I think these are people that do well at like Strategic Con. I think they do well at other tournament board gaming events. So I don't think this is like a particularly bad bet. I hate that I'm breaking my system and now putting freaking fives in. I don't really want to bet on this team, but I think people that don't I think people should mildly pay attention to this team if you want to pick a slight long shot that other people are unlikely to pick. I suspect this is a better bet than many. Um, those are your friends. Yeah, that's what I figured. Your red eye's gonna fix your sleep schedule. Nice. If you think this is early, you're gonna have a bad time next Saturday. Well, that's true. Reed is like a 500 on BGA. Well, shit. Yeah. Okay. Fuck it. Yeah. This is just another. This is another lower rated team that I think people should have their eyes on. I think the handicapper has this one too low. But again, this is like, how is the handicapper supposed to know these things? But yeah. Anyhow, you're so bad at sleeping on flights. Ah, dang, that sucks. You're gonna come early and get acclimated to the time change. Nice. Yeah. I will say that, like, I don't really have to do a lot to get adjusted to the time. If anything, I need to learn to, like, sleep in slightly more, which is always tough for me, but mostly WBC works quite well for my existing sleep schedule, which is convenient. All right, Team Epic Fail, Michael McKibben at Twilight Struggle. Michael McKibben's been playing a decent bit of Twilight Struggle and has gotten better, but then it looks like kind of a family team and a friend, and we're betting on a bunch of games that, yeah, are like, maybe. So this is not a team I'm personally betting on, but I wish the McKibbens all the success. Like, if they could break through, that'd be awesome. Lincoln Highwaymen. See, and then we're back to again. Chad Weaver, just that name instantly makes me perk up. I don't recognize the rest of the people that he is with, and we're betting on Seven Wonders and Carcassonne. Those are games where I'm like, again, maybe anybody, but it's not really like a high bet that I want to take. Chad Weaver, though, like, that perks me up. Like, that's a guy who has won tournaments at WBC before, so if you've won some tournaments at WBC before, I'm like, being down at rank 44 is surprising. I'm not betting on this team, but this is another one that, like, all's you have, like, if Chad Weaver wins Arc Nova for the first time, Arc Nova is such a huge field that already gets you like 10 or 11 team points. That probably puts you into the top 10. So, like, what are Chad Weaver's chances of winning Arc Nova? I don't know for sure, but some percent. Like, you're basically betting, is Chad Weaver good enough to win Arc Nova? If he does, boom, this is teams in the top 10. So, all right, Meeple's Rising. Oh, hey, ooh, more fun, more fun. This is awesome. Matt Stanky is a player that lives in my area that I just met a few months back, and now that I say this, I'm super sad I've not reached back out to him. I really should. Hopefully I'll see him at WBC. Hopefully we'll actually hang out and chat some more, because some of these other players might also be local to me, and I don't even know them, which is kind of crazy to think about. Um, what the heck is HET? Oh god, it's Heat. It's Heat. Oh no, it's Heat. Duh, of course it's Heat. Okay. Well, so I mean, Matt Stanky is pretty strong at games on BGA, from what I know. But again, we have people betting on Cascadia, Azul, and Medici, which that this when people are picking some of the more kind of casual, what I want to call casual games, I tend to view those teams as more people that are like, they're at WBC and they're going to have fun, they're going to play a bunch of games, maybe they're going to win stuff, but they're probably picking these games because they're just games they like to play and they want to, join the team tournament, but I suspect they don't think they're going to win the team tournament either. They're at least giving themselves a shot. You got to be in the tournament to have a shot at winning, but this is not a team that I'm betting is going to win the team tournament. But again, all it takes is a little bit of luck, right? Matt Stanky wins Heat, and somebody else like does well in Azul, and there you are. Like, you're in the top 10, and anyhow, used to be great. Now you suck. Nice. You guys can't sleep on flights anymore. That sucks. 2 Andrew Browns. Ugh. There is an Andrew Brown. Anyhow, Greenville Mafia, every time you go away. When you say there's another Andrew Brown, was there another Andrew Brown earlier? Did Lumen bet on football this year? God, he didn't. What a coward. Oh, there was another Andrew Brown. Okay, well hopefully they're actually different people. Uh you can't be on two teams. That's cheating. I assume Ken knows better. He probably knows some of these Greenville Mafia people. And Andrew Brown, I mean, clearly that's a name that could be multiples, but yeah, wild. Anyhow, I don't recognize most of these names. This looks like another kind of family team, which again, I'm very happy for a bunch of these family teams signing up. Every once in a while, the family team does, pop into the top 10, but I'm not betting on it. Robodabi, great team name. Fantastic team name. Again, top ten team name, easy. As for actual top 10 team, I don't see it. No, I'm not interested. Greenville Mafia, the Boys of Summer. I feel like I might have actually played a game with Jeremy Rice once. That name slightly sticks out, but again, I read a lot of the event reports. At this point, I am basically like, oh, does your name stand out because I've seen it in multiple event reports and winner reports? If so, I'm intrigued. Otherwise, we're kind of just moving along. And Greenville Mafia Raspberry Beret. That's also what a team name. But I don't. I'm not there. And another Greenville Mafia team. Love the Greenville Mafia. Love that they've signed up so many teams. Love that people are fighting and acquiring. Like, let's go. But I don't see it happening here. With that said, I also the happy handicapper sometimes 9,000 to 1. Come on, Stuart. What is this? What is this? The otherwise worst team is 600 to 1. This team is somehow like 15 times worse than that? Nonsense. I've always been dubious about the odds as is, but like there's only 50 teams in this tournament. Like 1 in 9,000? That's another typo. Yeah, you must be right. You must be right. But I'm taking it as it says. It says 9,000 to 1. That's what the site says. No, you're probably right. It's probably 900 to 1. But even that 900 to 1, like, I don't know. There's only 50 teams. But like again, I don't whatever. Anyhow, the odds don't really matter. It's just for silliness. And I like to needle Stewart slightly. I to be I'll make no secret about this. When Stuart Tucker wants to retire as the happy handicapper, I will take over. I'm in. Put me in, coach. I'll probably have to make a new formula or something, but whatever. I'll mess around with numbers pointlessly and for no real purpose, but sheer nonsense. Okay. Anyhow, yeah. Again, our system has pumped out a list that's not that different than Stewart's. So their power rating is literally 1 compared to 16 right above them. Maybe it's $4. So if it's a division thing, it might not be a typo. Let's go back and look quick. You're right. I also forgot. I don't really look at the power rating number either, but we just get there's so many numbers to look at. Power rating. Yeah, 2216. Wow, 1. Yeah, no, I mean, I do think it is a division thing now that you say that, right? Like this is I said it like yeah, this is they're that wow, yeah. No, yeah, I think that's not an error, but again, I'm gonna give Stewart some shit for this then. 9,000 to 1? They're not they're not that much worse than the other teams. That can't be true. It can't be true. It's wrong. It's definitely wrong. All these other teams have power ratings that are like up in the double digits, and then this poor team is a 1? Like what have you done, Greenville Mafia, to piss off the happy handicapper? But poor guys, like Stewart's just like throwing you under the trash. Ugh. Anyhow, okay. The numbers are the numbers. I mean, They are. The numbers are the numbers. How dare I argue with the happy handicapper's logic and work? Except that's pretty much what the entire point of this video is to mildly argue with his system and say my predictions are better. Speaking of my predictions, all right. So now to go through the list, we've got our teams that we want to pay attention to, which I'm gonna claim are these teams. Which, to be clear, that's a hell of a lot of teams to pay attention to. Who do I actually want to bet on? Team Terrafarmers. That's my team. All right, I need to switch. No, I don't need to switch. I just need to go up top. All right, let's narrow this down just a little. Let's move my thing over so that we're there. Something like that works. Okay, Team Terrafarmers, my team. This is me at Beyond the Sun, Rob at Innovation, Eric at Amon Ray, Andrew Martin at Terraforming Mars. I like that. I do want to bet on my team. We're going to lock that one in. Team Terrafarmers, I think we should bet on me. Despite these ratings, am I going to submit Chaos with Giants as number 6? I might. We wanted the most objective WBC stream. Wow, my own team at the top of the rank is so objective. For what it's worth, I kind of do think my team might be the best. For what it's worth, for what little it's worth, if we look at the past 2 years of results, has any other team have as many team points as my team has? I can tell you for a fact, nobody else does. Anyhow, yeah, Rob's playing Innovation. Uncivil Servants. Uncivil Servants is Chris Trimmer, Ty Hansen, Richard Irvin, and Kevin Uels. Okay, see, this is where my new system, I'm immediately dubious. Immediately dubious. Uncivil Servants did not place in the top 10 last year, and I understand why my new system is rating this team so highly, because yes, Ty Hansen is a multiple-time Star Wars Rebellion champ. Yes, Richard Irving has won Aces over Aces. Yes, Kevin Uels has won Advanced Civ multiple times. But these are relatively small events, so winning them doesn't even get you that many points. And the big issue is if you don't win them, you're getting almost nothing. So, I mean, you're basically betting that this team gets 2 wins in order to get in the top 10. Each of these individual bets to get there is not bad, but I'm not actually putting this team into my top 10. So, we put them in red? No, that's way too hard to read. Very faint red. All right. Let's also put this in a very faint green then. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Once Carl stops taking ages through the ages points, Shadowplay and Moon Colony Bloodbath's amazing. Correct. I love that Shadow bet on Moon Colony Bloodbath. I also agree that Team Sweathogs is the team that I actually think maybe would be the highest if I agreed with their game picks. But I don't agree with their game picks. Also, yes, if Carl would just stop, yeah, ruining AJ's day. But all right, Boys of BeachCon. It is the top-rated team over here. I'm not betting on them. Yes, they come out decent in my system again, but also this is where, again, I think the system that I'm using this year is undervaluing, or is over. It's giving too many points to players that win small events, but we need to factor in the fact that even if Bruce wins Football Strategy, he's won Football Strategy before, it's not that big of a tournament, and if you don't win it, you're getting almost no points. Rob and Santa Fe Rails is the other one. Rob did recently win, and he's won in the past, but I don't know. I feel like the Santa Fe Rails tournament has really been growing and getting more competitive, or maybe that's just me foolishly being like, I have recently entered the Santa Fe Rails tournament and have taken second, and now it's harder to win, and I'm giving too much credit to that type of nonsense. But also, Santa Fe Rails is it's a good game, but it's kind of Acquire-like, in my opinion, of you are pulling a bunch of cards, and you're kind of hoping to grab good ones. In Acquire, you are grabbing a bunch of tiles, and yes, there's skill in, maximizing what your tiles are doing for you. Santa Fe Rails has a lot of skill in maximizing what your cards are doing for you, but you can also just draw better cards. So anyhow, that's all to say that I actually personally don't want to bet on the Boys of BeachCon. Not interested. even though they're coming out high. So, you know, like, this is kind of nonsense, right? I've decided that I have a ranking system, and now I'm not even trusting my ranking system. But the Harry Bees, on the other hand, I do like betting on. And I like betting on the Harry Bees pretty much entirely because they have Bruce Beard on the team. So, like, Bruce Beard probably gets a win, and then one of these guys has to do, you know, well, one of these guys has to get a win. I mean, I guess this is what gets kind of tricky. This is kind of what's tricky. Like, a lot of these players are playing smaller events such that in order for their team to do well, they need two winners on their team. Some of these other teams, if they get a win, they win a big event, so they get more points, and all they need is somebody else on their team to get like a third place and put up a couple other points. So betting on the players that are in bigger events, they kind of only need like a first third in order to get into the top. Whereas these smaller events, they basically need to get two winners. So that's what's like tricky. I'm not that excited to bet on that in terms of a consistency thing, but I don't know. We're the first 100 minutes of the stream explaining my ranking system and using it largely. That is largely correct. And here are the last 20 minutes. I'm like, here I'm mostly throwing out my system. But you know, it's fun. I've decided most of the fun of this is just is blabbing about stuff, and people seem to enjoy it last year. Hopefully, they enjoy it again. I am gonna choose to bet on the Harry Bees. We can't ignore my system entirely. Team Sweat Hogs, I do want to bet on. I agree that it would be great if Carl would stop stealing AJ's through the ages points. I also think it would be great if Carl would bet on events that he actually has history in. I think it would be great if Chad would bet on Navigador instead of Stone Age, but I can't tell you guys what to do. But you're at least betting on relatively good bets, I think. I'm not totally Splendor Duel. Carl, didn't you win Twilight Struggle last year? Like, let's just run it back, run that back. But um, Axe Whispers come out pretty good in my system. But now that I'm looking at this thing again, how did I mess up? Like, legitimately, did I mess up? Like, just looking at this, like, this is Star Wars Outer Rim, right? We're betting on San Juan again. Oh, because Battle Line. The Battle Line thing comes out well, and the Kremlin thing probably is higher than it should be, but I'm not. I don't know. This is another team that I'm dubious about my system. Lisa did win Star Wars. Okay, that's what happened. I see. Okay, so these are a bunch of people that have won championships in recent years. It's just I don't really trust. The problem is I don't really trust that Star Wars Outer Rim is. I guess I have no idea what's going to happen in Star Wars Outer Rim, so I should trust history. Who the heck knows? Siegelman, Team Siegelman is good, but I pretty much every year choose not to bet on them, and I will admit the last several years I have been correct to not bet on them. They consistently are rated highly. They are a bunch of stupidly strong gamers, and yet when is the last time they've been in the top 10? I don't know, but I'm going to continue to bet it's not now. Horrid Birdmen. Now, on the other hand, Horrid Birdmen, I think, was a team I want to bet on. Horrid Birdmen are. They're ranked number 5. All right, there they are. But yeah, I get to bet on Carl Henning at Galaxy Trucker. I get to bet on Nick Henning at Scythe. I get to bet David at Jam Sumo, which he won last year. Like, I'm 100% in. I'm so in. This might actually be the team that I rate number 1. I mean, I don't like this B17 thing, but, you know, outside of that, I'm excited. All right, Dice Hate Me. Dice Hate Me is the Cliff Ackman, Rick Miller, Steve Shambita, Robert St. Pierre. Yeah, this team excites me. This is a fun one. That team is so good. Team Horrid Birdman. You'll take a 50-50 on Shadow to win Moon Colony Bloodbath? Yeah, except is Shadow at WBC, right? I don't want to like get too deep on that because I don't know that he's made a decision, but that's also souring me slightly. Of is he actually going to play Moon Colony Bloodbath? He will be. Oh well, okay. See, then I'm higher, but also I think there's a decent number of people that are playing Moon Colony Bloodbath, so I don't know. Maybe Shadow's good at games. Shadow's good at tournaments in the first year, but from my understanding thus far, like it sounds like there's going to be quite a few strong players playing Moon Colony Bloodbath, including me. So I don't know. Maybe Shadow just crushes us all. That's a very reasonable outcome. That's a very possible outcome. But I'm gonna continue saying Team Siegelman is a bunch of has-beens. No, I mean they're good, but I'll trash talk slightly and yeah. Nest of Spies. I do like betting on Nest of Spies. Nest of Spies just barely missed last year. Nest of Spies is kind of indicating the problem with these teams that are betting on a bunch of small events, though. Like, yeah, James is probably going to win for the people, and he's going to pull 7 points. But for this team to make the top 10, they probably need somebody else to win. And so, getting 2 wins is tough. Although when James Pay is basically a locked-in win, it is kind of hard to feel too bad about that. Although we're betting on Seven Wonders Duel and Dune Imperium, huh? Maybe I don't like that. Although Chris Bird at Twilight Struggle, I'm gonna claim that this team's just outside again. We're gonna ignore them. Los Lobos Locos. This is Team Wolf, right? Yeah, Team Wolf. But again, Jack Wolf is betting on the wrong game. I can't support this. I cannot support this team. I'm not. I won't do it. Jack, you gotta bet on a team. You gotta bet on a game that you actually have won. Don't bet on an event you don't have any laurels in. Don't do that. The Fantastic Four. This is an intriguing one to me. Zach Morris won Crocodile, right? Right? Zach Morris won Crocodile. Crocodile feels like it's actually an incredibly high skill game to me, right? Like, Crocodile's like wildly skill testing, is it not? Like, you can consistently do well at Crocodile, probably. 2 people repeated as Laurelists. I'm in on this team. Like, let's bet on that again. Let's try. Team Sweep the Leg. Sweep the Leg is down at 21. See, now these are also the teams that I'm kind of intrigued by. Like, War of the Ring. I don't even remember. Wow, how did Sweep the Leg get up here? I mean, it's partly because Jeremy won War of the Ring, right? But the rest of these players actually did well. Intriguing. I like betting on them just because they're a bit lower ranked, but I think they're quite good. Chaos Giants I like betting on for very similar reasons of like this team is like kind of down there more than they should be in my opinion. So I think that's a good bet. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We've put 7 teams on. We need to find 3 more that we actually want to bet on. You see, we haven't spent only 15 seconds on each player. Correct. Remarkably, this stream totally took, longer than, the dream was. But who would have ever predicted? Who could have possibly known? Okay, anyhow. I need to pick 3 more teams that I want to bet on. I want to grab some of these teams that the handicapper has lower that I think are actually pretty good. So let's look at Greenville Mafia Take on Me. This is betting on Jay Matthews at Brass. Okay, maybe I don't bet on this one. I think this is an okay bet, but I'm not going to take it. All right, what else did I like? I like Lions of Winter a decent amount. This is Mike at Agricola, Derek at San Juan, Joe at Cascadia Arc Nova. I'm going to not take that one either, but I could. The Falls Churchills, sorry. That's okay. I'm not actually going to take that one either. I do think I'm taking Spaghetti Flash, right? This is the Cliff, and yeah, I want this team. The team name is fun. Like, I'm going to take that one as a bet. I'm going to enjoy that. I want to pick at least one more of these that are a bit down there in the 20s. Do I want to bet on the Cult Menagerie again? I think I do actually want to bet on Cult Menagerie. Right? That might be the one I take. I might take Cult Menagerie. Ticket to Ride I don't love, but Monsters Medicine Bear. Okay, no, I don't want to. I don't want to bet on that. I lied. What about this Greenville Mafia? This Greenville Mafia team, the Wild Boys team. Ugh. Huh. Vibes Only Analysis really likes your team. It was truly unpredictable. Who would have known? Who would have known that? Who could have possibly seen it coming? for what it's worth, it's not only vibes. I am going off recent results, right? I do want to just continue to defend that Team Terra Farmers, third place last year, Team Champions 2023, 2022, Team 2022 we didn't actually get there, did we? All right, fair enough. Team 2022 was bad. Team year 2019, Team Terra Farmers, top 12. I mean 12, but just like history, there's a history also likes us. History likes us. But anyhow, I could have given Andrew a 5 to make them top. I agree. I didn't even give Andrew a 5. Correct. Andrew didn't even get a 5. Didn't do it. I had exactly. I showed restraint. The Lakers are good every year just because they have LeBron. Half the team is different. The team has been The team's been kind of similar, but you're right. The team has shifted over the years. So the team has shifted around. But you know, whatever. You can all be haters. I'm gonna take my team. I bet you a bunch of you are gonna bet on my team anyhow. So you can all give me crap. Who else am I betting on here? Do I want to bet on where's Nitiologists? Maybe I bet on Nitiologists. They're not that low, but what a great team name. I'm betting on DJ. I'm betting on Alex. I'm betting on. Okay, nope. I'm back out. Back out after looking at that. All right, who do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I need to pick 2 of these. Maybe what's this Ticket to Victory one? Who's Ticket to Victory again? Let's look through that. This is Dalton, Preston, Chris Wilds. Oh wait, no, I do like this team. I'm relatively willing to bet on a Chris Wilds at 5 tribes, backed up by some other decent bets. Yeah, I'll take that one. I'll take that bet. And we need one more. Do I bet on Team Israel? Do I go for it? I just don't like the Agricola thing. I don't like the Agricola thing. Yeah, I can't quite do it. I bet on Clater's crew. Am I willing to do that? Clater's crew. Small World, St. Pete's. Adele. We're betting on Adele. Oh, great. I love it. I don't actually love it enough to pick it, but I love it. All right. Yeah. Did I? We maybe do just go back up. Sweep the leg. Sweep the leg. I rated pretty well. Let's trust our system, right? Sweep the leg. Sure. We're betting on War of the Rings success again, and we're betting on John Company. No, we can't do that. We're not doing that. No. I can't actually talk myself in to wanting any of these teams. The newbies on my team appear to have carried me the last 2 years. That is pretty much the truth. You're correct. Vibes like you a little more, but I'm rooting for you, so go ahead and confirm your bias. You're for it. Yeah. MIT SGS? We could pick MIT SGS. I keep not looking at them, right? The issue is I just don't know about the Star Wars Outer Rim bets at all. It's so hard to know anything there. And if I remember right, the Andrew Brown and Titan 2 player has no history. So that's rough. That's rough. Maybe Gangrene. Have I re-looked at Gangrene? Is this the one to go with? This is the Andy Lewis team? Okay, no. See, both of these I'm not willing to bet on. I think they're fine. Maybe I do have to go back to one of these teams that I kicked out. Maybe I was wrong. Maybe it is one of these. Maybe I'm back on team of Boys of BeachCon, because what's the chance that Rife and actually no, I don't actually like Boys of BeachCon very much. I threw them out correctly, but maybe I do like this Greenville Mafia Forever Young one. Maybe that be the thing. We're betting on John Emery up front. We're doing some more San Juan. Why did everybody pick San Juan this year? See, that's the thing. I don't like that pick. Train conductors. We're back to train conductors being the pick. We've not looked at train conductors, but what the heck? Debbie's won Alhambra recently. Bart won's Empire Builder recently. I happen to know the name David Hood through diplomacy circles, so like, maybe he's better at history of the world than we know. Let's run it. Let's run a flyer on train conductors. Let's do it. Let's take it. All right. I think that's who I'm gonna go with. Prime sub from Alex. Thanks so much. Thanks for subbing to a stream that none of it makes any sense to you. Did Jeff Mullet retire and Keith Dent late showing? What's the intel on all the San Juans? I don't know. Is it history, not history of the world? It's Here I Stand. You would think it's history of the world, but it is Here I Stand. Here I Stand is mildly, I don't know. It just is. But anyhow, um, I think Jeff Mullet no longer comes to WBC or something like that. And then yeah, Keith has done well recently. But yeah, why did everybody pick this year as the year to like bet on San Juan? I don't know. Again, did Keith retire from San Juan? Has he washed up? Like, what happened? Everybody just went for it? I guess there's only 4 people that went for it, but still. We have Chris, like, the other problem is, like, we have rank 10, rank 11, rank 12 teams all have people betting on San Juan. Okay, but also Keith has won 3 years in a row. So, maybe. But yeah, I don't know. There's not clear indication to me from any of these people that they're like consistently capable of fighting for a San Juan placement. So I'm kind of dubious, right? Like if Jeff Mullet won that many years in a row and Keith Dent has won 3 years in a row, that kind of makes me think that San Juan is actually surprisingly skill tested and skill expressive, and that it's relatively hard to beat the best. And so, if you don't have a history of already competing in that field, I don't really like betting on you. Um, so yeah. Anyhow, I think this is definitely. I don't know exactly the list I'm going to hand in. The exact order you hand the teams in doesn't really matter, except it does for tiebreak purposes if you get people in the exact correct spot. So you know what? Hell, we do have to make a list. Team Terraformers is going to win it all again. I'm going to do it. I'm going to bet on myself. We're going to barely beat Team Sweat Hogs, who's going to have a good year. I'm going to claim these train conductor fellows come up from almost nowhere and are third. Spaghetti Flash is going to have a hot year. Then some of the old standbys are doing well. The Harry Bees have a good year. Horrid Birdmen have a good year. Dice Hate Me have a solid year. Fantastic Four get up there. Chaos Magians kind of limp on the edge, but make top 10. And Ticket to Victory wins a tiebreak to get into the top 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, that's going to be my bout. I'm going to hand that in, but you all have about a day left. I'm about to upload this to YouTube, so it should be there. You're going to have slightly more than a day to go bet on the teams you want. You can show me what I know. You can show the happy handicapper what he knows, and do better than us. And you could win free attendance. So yeah, get your predictions in. Get excited for WBC. It's coming up in less than a week, which is wild. I'm looking forward to seeing everybody there. It's gonna be a good time. As for actual streaming, I'm probably gonna stream an Agricola game in a little bit. So if some of you are around in about another half hour, it'll be good to keep talking and actually chat over a game. A bunch of you that are in the chat, I look forward to seeing you at WBC. Yeah, for all the teams that I'm not betting on, best of luck anyhow. Hope you can prove me wrong. The teams that I am betting on, let's go. Let's do well. Let's make it happen. And yeah, to my team, Team Terraformers, let's get back atop that. Let's get back atop the championship. Let's take it home again. What else do I have to say? I don't know. Yeah, I'm excited for WBC. So maybe you'll try sniping me instead. Do that. That's fine. Snipping is an unfortunate typo. Whoops. Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, I had fun doing this again, but I think if I'm to turn this ranking stream into a yearly thing, I need to figure out how I actually want to rank teams because I didn't even follow my ranking system here at the end. Uh, Although again, I sort of get it, right? There is this balance of like you want to like in order to actually win the predictions, you have to kind of predict which teams are going to unexpectedly arrive in the top 10. And that is kind of at odds with just like taking your top 10 teams. So, who knows? Maybe I'll think slightly more about how I actually want to do this. On that front, if you have any suggestions for the future, yeah, drop comments in my YouTube video or really wherever. Reach out to me at WBC. Tell me what you're doing. Tell me what you don't. If people are actually enjoying this, I'll kind of keep doing it. But I think I have to figure out a method that makes me slightly happier instead of going crazy on the way I'm ranking people. Um, or maybe it is just a 2 hour affair every time. Who knows? I'll figure that out. Hopefully we get more teams again next year too. It's fun. It's fun having teams competing. So, again, very much looking forward to the WBC and all the nonsense. So, sorry to be a noob. What is BSN? Is that a game you're playing for your team? Hey, no worries on being a noob. Although I am about to wrap up the stream. But yes, the answer is I am playing the game Beyond the Sun. Uh, WBC has 3 character codes for all their games, so it's kind of hard to work out what they mean sometimes. But yes, the way the team tournament works at WBC is you have to call your shot and what game you're going to do well at. I this year am choosing Beyond the Sun, but you know, yeah, I'm not choosing Agricola because Agricola is such a shark field. I have made the final 2 years in a row, but I'd love to make the final again. But who the heck knows? It's just it's freaking hard to do well at Agricola at WBC. So, what game am I GMing? I am GMing St. Petersburg and Moon Colony Bloodbath. Also, as of approximately like 5-ish hours ago, I also might quasi be GMing Beyond the Sun, which I really didn't want to be a 3 event GM. However, uh, there's been a last minute issue, and we need a last minute replacement GM for Beyond the Sun, and I mean my schedule is assuming I'm playing Beyond the Sun. Beyond the Sun is my team game. My my console hopes for the week partly rely on Beyond the Sun running, so I have a pretty high interest in Beyond the Sun running. So, yeah. Do I like my chances better this year or last year for Agricola? Um, I like my chances better this year. However, like going to revised in the semifinals has got like I think that just has to help me. But I mean, again, it's just such a tough field. Like it partly relies on like what tables do you pull during heats? Like who do you pull? How does it go? Like right, there's just so many things. Like it's really not inconceivable at all to like think that I could just take 3 seconds during the heats and not make the semifinals. Like or take a third of the heats, right? Like you can sit at tables. Like it just I've been quite fortunate the last several years that I've just won my first 2 heats and been able to go do other things. But winning my semifinals have been pretty tight too. Like frankly, last year's semifinal I should have lost. So anyhow, yeah, like I don't know. I mean, I don't really like my chances that much in Agricola ever, but I guess I have to say I like them more this year. If you could help with St. Pete or Moon Colony, you can try helping. Yeah, luckily no fibers this year. That's the plan, I believe. Yeah. You agree my odds are slightly better this year. Yeah, I guess that's ultimately what I want to say. I think my odds are slightly better this year, but that certainly doesn't mean that I expect better performance, right? Like, really, I think last year I kind of outperformed my average, right? Second place definitely outperformed what my average year is going to be. The year before I got fourth. Still think that's better than what the average year is going to be. I think on average, I make the semifinals and get like second place probably in a semifinal game. That's probably my average result in Agricola at this point, which is still pretty freaking good. The field's insane, right? Like if that means I'm one of the better players in the field, but um, yeah, I would not be at all shocked, right? If like my heat results this year are like a first, a second, and I play a third game and get like another first, and then I make the semifinals and I get like a close second. Like that seems super plausible. So, um, as for you helping, I can maybe reach out to you. The thing is, I will admit I've gotten somewhat better at GMing. That I do find a lot of it easy. Also, I'm not going to be GMing Beyond the Sun alone. I would definitely have helpers. Beyond the Sun is also one of those games that like a lot of those actually events I think are gonna be relatively easy to GM. Moon Colony is the one that I actually maybe could use your help for the most because Moon Colony is supposed to be a C class event, which means people can come play even if they don't know the rules at all. And it is conceivable that somehow we wind up with a table where nobody actually knows how to play. That is the one thing in the back of my mind where I'm like, ooh, that would be that would be wild. So I think on average there will be at least one experienced player at any of the tables, so it'll be fine. Uh, but I try to figure out like what is the worst case scenario for me. GMing Moon Colony Bloodbath, and I'm like the worst case scenario I think is basically yeah like four players that have no idea what they're doing at all winds up at a table that uh, and so I basically have to like teach them the game and try to help them through the game while still playing my own game at a different table. Like that's yeah, but we'll find out. I think it's unlikely. So that'd be incredible. Yeah, it would be pretty unlucky. I don't think it's a particularly serious concern. So yeah, that's what I mean. Like I exactly like I think the answer though is like there'll be enough experienced players in the room that we can all kind of help make it happen. You don't need to play the tournament. Oh, well, that you're allowed to play the tournament. Like it'll be fine. I'm pretty sure it's gonna be totally fine. Um, again, it is scheduled. The other thing too, just to remember, like it's scheduled for a 2 hour block. So there's the thing is, I'm not that worried about anything because there's so much time. That's part of why I scheduled it as a Class C event. Like there's just no time pressure at all. So um, yeah, it'll work out. Um, the one thing I might need mild help at is somebody to like take pictures during the final. Especially if I'm GMing now 3 games potentially, and if I'm once again fortunate enough to make my own finals of various things. The like rescheduling and the trying to find what hour works for everybody. Like it's very possible I, as the GM for Moon Colony Bloodbath, don't really line up well with what the players' preferred time is for Moon Colony Bloodbath, and like somehow again that works out. Like luckily I know enough people most years that I agree. I can get people to help me carry the stupid kiosk around, do this or that, etc. And I might be able to ask you to help with that once or twice too. Of just like, yeah, can you carry the kiosk while I'm carrying the rest of my crap around? Stuff like that. Stuff like that helps a bit. So to all the other people at WBC, if you're willing to, honestly, every once in a while, just go ask a GM if you can help them slightly. Many of them are going to say no. Many of them are fine. But also, every once in a while, it can be very helpful as a GM to just be like, could you go get me a water? Can you move the kiosk? Can you go do a very minor little task? And yet, every little bit can definitely help make the GM life just slightly easier during the week. So, anyhow, I am back to blabbing too much. I'm going to try to finish that and just blab on another stream of gaming. I'm going to try to wrap this YouTube video at, a mere 2 hours and 20 minutes of me talking. So, those that want and are going to enjoy that, congrats. My ticket again to reiterate the 10 teams that I'm picking for the top 10 are Terraformers, Sweat Hogs, Train Conductors, Spaghetti Flash, the Harry Bees, Horrid Birdman, Dice Hate Me, Fantastic Four, Chaos Giants, and Ticket to Victory. Um, there's a lot of other good teams and good bets though. We're gonna see how it plays out in a little less than a week's time. I hope to see a bunch of you at WBC. It's gonna be a fun time. Thanks all for hanging out and chatting. Alex, thanks so much for the Prime sub. Super appreciate it as always. Love all the support. And yeah, I'm super looking forward to WBC. Great. See y'all around. Later.